Hey everyone, Eric Thompson here. Hope you are doing well. That was a quick one. And welcome back to the channel. As always, ET's Film Review. Here we are together once again. Part 2 of the video. Well, not part 2 necessarily. Let me start over. A while back, about a week ago, I filmed a video in the car, which Mary Lou does not like, I know that, called Book to Screen Differential. In this video, I talked about some of the differences between books and their film adaptations, or movies that are based on books, right? Novels, whatever it is. This film did really well, or this video did, excuse me. Link in the description if you want to go check it out, okay? I was really impressed with the amount of chatter about it on Facebook. If you follow me on Facebook, or you're my friend, or you follow the film review, maybe you caught some of this, okay? People talking at length about their favorite books and the differences that came up when their books were made into films, when those stories were adapted and translated for the big screen. And so, a couple things I want to do in this video. One, I want to have a couple follow-up thoughts, okay? Two, I want to talk about a new series that I'm going to begin soon based on this idea of the BTSD, the Book to Screen Differential, okay? Or more simply put, the difference between the book and the movie. But we're going to try and treat it with a little reverence, because this is film, and what do we do here on this channel but talk about movies, and I talk about Tori a lot too. Consequently, went to the doctor yesterday I suppose, and heard the baby's heartbeat. Everything is perfect and healthy, and Tori is so beautiful and so healthy, and so thank you everyone who's been asking about her and her progress and the baby's progress and all that. Everything is going really, really well. Of course, everyone wants to say, oh, the heartbeat was this much, it must be a girl, or oh, Tori's been this sick or hasn't been this sick, it must be a boy. And of course, everything they say contradicts another old wives' tale. But it's fun, and if I've not mentioned before, we're not going to find out the gender of the child until he or she is born. So we'll let you know. Now, 2 points with regard to the BTSD, okay? One is that, and this of course is maybe obvious to some people, maybe very unobvious or anti-obvious to others. And definitely it's expressed in my experience. Before The Lord of the Rings came out, I'll just use that as an example, I had not read the books. And my good friend Aaron told me about the story because The Fellowship of the Ring was going to come out soon. I was interested. There was such a mania around the movie. And so I asked him, because I knew he read the books, I said, Aaron, what is this about? And how do you give a synthesis of the Lord of the Rings story? But he knew the books really well, and so he kind of walked me through it a little bit, told me about the story, and I was jazzed. I saw Fellowship of the Ring, and I think like within a week my mom got me the trilogy. In fact, I think it's the same trilogy that's sitting on that bookshelf back there. So thank you, Mom. And of course, when I read the trilogy, and there's a scene with Gandalf in it, what do you think I saw in my mind's eye? That's right. I saw Sir Ian McKellen as Gandalf. And the whole way through the story, it was the visual representation in my mind was what was provided to me in the motion picture. Now, I'm not saying this is right or wrong, but it's something that we have to take note of for those people who come to the story, come to the book after the movie, okay? And this is a very unique treatment in that respect. Not a lot of other art forms have this give and take, okay? I'm thinking of music maybe, and classical music, but really, I guess any music that can be covered. But just for example, my favorite conductor, Herbert von Karajan, pictured here, tremendous, and they said without a doubt you know, like Beethoven's mouthpiece in the 20th century, right? He had incredible recordings of Beethoven's symphonies. Indeed, his recordings are the benchmark for Beethoven. But then we have probably my second or third favorite, but probably just second, just underneath von Karajan, Leonard Bernstein. And you can listen to recordings of the Ninth Symphony, Beethoven's Ninth, back to back, and you're going to hear so many different things, even though it is, of course, the same piece, but the treatments are different. The tempo, the speed of the piece will be different. Volume, the little dynamics, okay? In some cases, Bernstein even changed the words to that incredible symphonic piece, okay? We see the same in this BTSD, where people are going to view the book differently based on the film, especially if they come to the book after having seen the film as I did with Lord of the Rings. Again, not saying this is better or worse, good or bad, but for sickness and health, but it is something to take note of. And secondly, just a quick thought, and one that's obvious to most of you, of course. In the case of the Lord of the Rings, when Peter Jackson began the project of making the films, he had to approach the Tolkien estate and ask for certain permissions, and certainly to use Professor Tolkien's archives and journals and all this stuff. But there was also a certain degree of allowance, okay, with what Jackson could do per the estate. Even though, Tolkien himself was not able to inform Peter Jackson of what he expected to see in the movies. But now, with J.K. Rowling and Stephanie Meyer and so on and so forth, these people become producers, executive producers in these films. And in very broad terms, if you're an executive producer, it means two things. One, you're putting a lot of money into the project and getting a lot of money back. And then two, you have a direct say in what goes. The director is still at the top, but the executive producers are strong contenders, okay, with what happens with the creative work. And so is it any surprise that, with Harry Potter, there's J.K. Rowling, with Twilight, there's Stephanie Meyer, and I'm presuming the same is true with many other of the film adaptations that have been happening during this recent time. And this is very unique. You just don't have this. Again, going back to music, going back to Beethoven, is Beethoven gonna knock on the stand and say, "Now, Maestro Bernstein, you should not treat my music this way in this passage. It was meant to be this way"? Of course not, because he's dead, all right? But can you imagine being the director of one of the Harry Potter films, and you got Rowling, however you say her name, sitting right behind you here, and she's going to watch like a hawk to make sure that her story is preserved and presented in a way that's true to her intention. This is very unique indeed, truly unique during this time and in this very special medium. Although, again, I know we can draw parallels to other art forms, but for this sake, I think you can agree with me that hopefully this means that the fans, you and me, get a more faithful representation of the book, but of course, the author will hopefully realize it's an adaptation, okay? It's a retelling in a sense. Based on, I had to remember that one, based on the conversations that were had on Facebook, to send those off here, that were had on Facebook in regards to the first video I posted about the BTSD, again, link in the description below if you want to check that out, I've decided to start a new series. And this is a very unique series for the channel. I've done things kind of like it, but nothing exactly like this yet. And that is, I want to go through some of the big films of our time, and that are based on very popular books, and look at some of the differences. Look at the BTSD in these stories, okay? Both in the book and in the film. Now, I have not read all these books, okay? Just to begin with, we're going to consider 4 stories, okay? 1, Lord of the Rings, and The Hobbit, And if we continue along, we'll pick up the second Hobbit film as well. 2, Hunger Games. Again, in November, when the next one comes out, we'll pick up, what's that called? Catching Fire? Yes. 3, Twilight. 4, Harry Potter. So again, Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, Hunger Games, Catching Fire, Harry Potter and Twilight, or Twilight and Harry Potter, however I said it the first time. I've only read Harry Potter and The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. And so I don't know anything about the books, Twilight or Hunger Games. And so I'm asking some friends to help me with this. And so let me introduce you to our auxiliary staff, okay? For Lord of the Rings, which I have some knowledge of, I think a pretty fair working knowledge, I will be considering this the differential for the book to film, the book to screen adaptation, the book to screen differential, as will my good friend Michael. There he is. Okay, we've talked about him before. He's really the champion of the ET's film review, and I appreciate your support, brother. I really do. And so we'll be working together on Lord of the Rings. Hunger Games. Okay, on that trilogy, of course, I have to defer to Mrs. Thompson, Mrs. ET's film review, Tori Thompson. There she is, and she looks so beautiful, of course. Right, yes I know. And so she will be looking at differences, parallels, we'll get to the context in a minute. For Harry Potter, 7 books, wow. I don't know that we're going to do 7 videos about it, but I've enlisted the help of my dear, dear friend Rachel, okay? There she is, okay? And she is as much of a fangirl and super fan as I've ever met with regard to Harry Potter. I'm trying to get in touch with my other friend Michael, who's also a great, great fan. I'm hoping that he will join in, okay? If not, I'm sure that Rachel can do it all by herself. If you saw the thread on Facebook, then you know she has plenty to say. Consequently, also, Robin, I've not talked with you yet, but maybe you would consider helping me out as well. And then when we come around to it, of course, we get to Twilight at the very end. Well, I don't know if we're going to do Twilight last or not. Better speak more clearly. I don't know if we're going to do Twilight last or not. When we do Twilight, my dear friend Jenny is going to help me out with that. And again, I just don't know of any other person in my whole life who knows the books and loves them as much as she does. And so here's how the format's going to work, okay? And don't look for this anytime real soon. The AFI Top 100 continues. I just finished watching number 81, Spartacus. Wow, it was good. Gosh darn, it was so good. That's coming up real soon. AFI Top 100 continues. I still want to get back to some top 10 stuff. But soon, we're going to begin this series, okay? It's going to be in this playlist that this video is in, okay? You should be able to see it over here. The playlist thing should be kind of over here-ish, somewhere in this region, I'm guessing. And here's how it's going to work. I'm going to send out some questions to our friends, and they're going to record themselves, you know, answering the questions. Then we're going to get the video back to me, and I'm going to edit it into a video with me. And so it'll be like we're kind of interviewing each other. Now, when we get to Hunger Games, I'll hopefully be able to get Tori to just sit next to me and we'll talk, you know. Unfortunately, it's not quite so easy to just record Skype conversations or record Google Plus chat or something like that. I wish it was easier. I don't have the technical know-how to do that. If you know how, let me know. I'd rather do it live, okay? But it's a good challenge for me to push my knowledge of video editing and all that stuff. And I think it's something special because I'm tired of listening to myself talk about this stuff. I want to hear what you guys have to say. I keep saying that. I've been saying that since the first video I posted about movies. When E.T.'s Film Review was born, it was about what you guys think. And so this is a way to bring your perspective into the review, which is really what I'm after here. I want to hear what you guys think, what you guys know, and especially these friends of mine who know so much about these books and have been so committed to them before the movies came out, okay? And in some cases before there was even a movie to consider about these books. and I wanna really touch on that passion and that excitement, okay? Here's where everyone's part comes in, okay? Whether or not you're gonna be helping with the actual videos, I need your input. What sort of questions should we ask our friends about these books? Okay, remember, we're just kind of trying to do one video per book or per movie. In some cases, with like Harry Potter, we might squish a couple into one, or we'll find a way to arrange that. What questions should we ask, though, about the BTSD, the book-to-screen differential? Should we ask simple questions like, what are some of the primary differences? Or, what do you think should have been included in the movie that wasn't in the book? Or should I say it the other way around? Or perhaps it's the other way around, because in some cases, of course, the screenwriters generate content that was not in the book to supplement the film. And can you see that material working in the book, or do you not see it? Okay. I also want to talk about acting. And do you think that Daniel Radcliffe is Harry Potter? Do you think he measured up? Or do you believe that they should have found someone else than Elijah Wood to play Frodo? You know, I want to really stretch it out a little bit and try to get into both technical aspects and the book-to-screen adaptation process, okay? So please, in the comment section below, give me some suggestions. Help me out, okay? Let me know what you guys think we should be asking our friends, these super fans, about these books. And we'll go from there, okay? I'm hoping to maybe start with the series in a month or so from now. So maybe mid to late May, we'll get it going, all right? It's a lot of work for them to record and to make sure all that's right on the technical side, and then to get the video to me, and then for me to edit it and make sure it looks good for you guys, okay? I've never even tried that before, so there you go. I just started with annotations. With the YouTube annotation stuff, I've been way behind the bar on that. Anyway, that's where we're at with the BTSD. Again, everything's going to be located in this playlist. And if you follow me on YouTube, you're going to see the updates. It'll say Eric Thompson uploaded a video to this playlist, and there it will be. Thank you, friends, for watching. Thank you for clicking over. Like and subscribe if you care to. If you follow on Facebook, give me a like. If you follow on YouTube, give me a like. Let me know that you're watching, okay? If you don't like it, you can put a dislike too. That's okay. This is what this place is about, okay? We're giving and we're taking. I do thank you truly and kindly for watching, and I do hope that you are all doing so very well. Thanks so much. And stay tuned. BTSD stuff coming up soon, my friends. Bye-bye.